is Samara, and I have a problem, and that is being sedentary. I have a desk job, which in the time of the coronavirus, I am super excited and grateful for. And with the lack of activity over the last almost year, I have noticed my body getting weaker and weaker. I'm pushing 50, I'm turning 50 in March, and that is not good news. Like, I gotta start thinking about things like osteoporosis and stuff. Not cool. Anyway, I also struggle with feeling overwhelmed, self-doubt, and overwhelmed. I said overwhelmed already. See what I mean? Lack of focus. You see what I'm getting at. I mean, I know I need to move, and so I started researching articles on how to exercise for people who don't like exercise. And there were some really great ideas in there, and none of them sounded like, actually one of them sounded interesting, belly dancing. But I didn't stick with it. Like, I couldn't figure out how to work it into a rhythm when my own life feels like it's just scrabbling to make do from one second to the next. I didn't feel like I could do it, and so I didn't stick with it. Surely I am not the only person out there in the world who is struggling with this. I had this moment of inspiration one day. With my lack of attention, I can't count a rep to save my life. And not having a rhythm and not feeling like there is this program that I could really stick with, and then all of the experts saying that you don't need to change the whole world in a day. You don't need to become suddenly fit overnight. You can't do that. You need to create a small pattern that you're able to keep doing. And I realized that if I couldn't do anything, if I was just stuck feeling like I was still and not doing a lot of movement, what I could do is wiggle. Don't laugh. Actually, go ahead and laugh, because laughter is really good for your health. And I don't mind. You won't hurt my feelings. But wiggling looks like this. For me. It might look different for you. But the idea is, get your body moving. And you can't hear this, but in my neck I can hear like my vertebrae just like crackling, and my shoulders are crackling because they're so used to being still. And I thought, you know what? I don't have to count reps for this. If I just take a timer and I set it for 5 minutes, and I just wiggle for 5 minutes. You could be standing, you could be seated, you could be lying down, you could be doing base wiggles, you could be doing shoulder wiggles, you could be doing back wiggles to work on your spine. The idea is just to introduce motion, to get moving and to get flowing. And it seemed exciting to me, this idea of wiggling. And if you are watching this and you want to wiggle with me, like, that's the idea. Or if you're just getting an abdominal workout because you're laughing your butt off at how ridiculous this looks, then that's a win for me as well. Like, I will take that as a win. But like, the difference between this and being still and not moving at all, like, it's not really about burning calories. It's not really about trying to lose weight. For me, it feels a lot more like trying to break the habit of not using my body in the way that it could be used, like not being as strong as I want to be, not being as flexible as I want to be. And so in some respects, like, making these videos is a little bit about accountability. It's a little bit about reaching out to feel connected to other people who might also be struggling with this idea of, or just struggling with not moving enough in their lives. And y'all, I'm so out of shape, I'm getting breathless by just waving my arms around and trying to talk at the same time. It's not who I want to be. And maybe you are in a similar position and you are not in the kind of shape that you want to be in. And the idea for me was to create a bridge between the people who are fit and feel connected to some kind of fitness program, or maybe they're like happy in their body and they're moving it the way they can, and people like me who feel like a couch potato or a slug and are not moving in the way. Nothing against slugs, they're very cute.
Aww.
But just not moving as much as we know that we want to be, like as much as our body wants to be moving and wants to be healthier. So this is a little bit what that is. The funny thing, the really funny part of this story for me is I have a number of health issues which I refer to as invisible illness, because you can't tell by looking at me that I have anything to deal with. But I see an acupuncturist every 2 weeks to deal with a number of things, and including inflammation and insomnia and blah, blah, blah. But I had this inspiration to ask her about inflammation, like how does inflammation, I can't remember exactly what I asked her, but it was something like, what can I do to help with the inflammation? And I think I had maybe mentioned something about exercise, and she said, well, from a Chinese medicine perspective, I don't know really how to describe it, but the best motion for you is this. And she starts wiggling, and she doesn't even, she's totally being serious because this is legitimate Chinese medicine. And I'm inside, I'm like gobsmacked, because I just the other day was like, I can wiggle. I don't have to count reps. I don't have to be even. I can do whatever I want. People, even if people want to do it with me, they can do something. They can do something completely different than I'm doing. And see, it's already been 5 minutes, and I did motion. And if you did motion with me, then that's great. But the idea is, hold on, there was a train of thought. It's coming around. No, I think I lost it. The acupuncturist was talking about wiggling as being a means of helping to reduce inflammation. Oh, the point being that if you listen to your body can tell you what it needs. And so this is my way of being transparent about trying to listen to my body better. But when I'm tackling a problem, I like to externally process, and I like to be held accountable. So I like to have accountability buddies. So maybe this will be it. Anyway, I'm gonna give this a try. Bye. Oh wait, no, there was more. Crap, there was more. I guess this is it. Then, and it could look like, I'm seated right now because this is the way that I could conceive of to set up a camera and just start recording the dang videos. My acupuncturist told me that wiggling was really good for my health. I was like, oh, well, it's like fate. Anyway. So one of my intentions for 2021 is to be more of an ally for disabled people. I was really shocked to learn a couple of years ago that the conversation around disability just hasn't even changed in 25 years or more. People are just asking the same types of limited questions. There aren't things that are being addressed at a community level, and people are carrying the same assumptions about disability. And so one of my intentions for this year is to normalize conversations about disability, to just say, you know what, let's talk about this. We should be thinking about it more. We should be more inclusive in the way we talk and think and, do city planning and whatever that means. There's a lot more. I'm certainly no expert. I want to be doing hand or arm wiggles, or if you don't have hands or arms, I want to be doing whatever body wiggles or anything that makes you feel good and get your body moving in the ways that you can. That's part of what I am intending to do with this. I'd also like to send myself to grad school, so maybe there will be a tip jar at some point. I don't know. I intentionally chose this environment with my messy house and my normal hair and no makeup, because this is going to be a growing process for me, and I hope that you will join me, and we'll go from there, see what's next.